Summary of the proposal to rename the Department of Defense to the Department of War. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order to rename the Department of Defense as the Department of War, a move that is deeply symbolic but strategically controversial. The administration justifies the change as an effort to restore a warrior ethos, reject woke ideology, and project strength. Trump has argued that the Department of War title, used during World Wars I and II, is associated with victory, whereas defense is too defensive. Because Congress has the sole authority to formally rename a federal department, the executive order employs a legal workaround by establishing Department of War as a secondary title for use in official communications pending legislative action. The administration's argument misinterprets the historical context of the post-World War II name change. The original War Department, established in 1789, primarily oversaw the Army, while the Navy operated as a separate department. The National Security Act of 1947 and its 1949 amendments created the Department of Defense as a unified structure to integrate the Army, Navy, and the newly formed Air Force under a single civilian secretary. According to historians, this change was not about political correctness, but was a deliberate philosophical shift to reflect a new era of nuclear deterrence and global responsibility. The name defense was chosen to signal to allies and adversaries that America's primary role was to prevent war and defend the international order, not to be an aggressor. Most policy experts and military historians view the move as symbolism masquerading as strategy. Critics argue the renaming does nothing to enhance military capabilities or address pressing security challenges, such as strategic competition with China. Instead, it creates a costly distraction. The financial cost of rebranding hundreds of facilities, websites, and official materials worldwide is estimated to be in the tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. Furthermore, conducting domestic missions, such as National Guard disaster relief, under the banner of a Department of War could create political and legal complications. Internationally, the renaming risks alarming allies, who may see it as a shift toward aggressive unilateralism, undermining alliances like NATO. It also provides a propaganda tool for adversaries, who can portray the United States as a belligerent power. The move runs counter to the global norm, as most nations, including US, adversaries, use the defense designation for their military establishments. In summary, the decision to rename the Department of Defense is more a potent political and cultural act than a substantive strategic shift. It relies on a nostalgic, historically inaccurate narrative to appeal to a domestic audience, but risks tangible negative consequences. By prioritizing symbolic gestures over strategic investment, the move could weaken US alliances, embolden adversaries, and waste significant financial resources, ultimately distracting from the real challenges to American national security.